When I was behind her, she was driving slow enough.
Yeah.
So she could have tossed something, but I literally
Tossed it out the window?
She could have out that window, but who is that? Hart?
No, that's Tom check. Oh. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Move your car! Stay back!
There was that devastating moment that we've been hearing about out in Colorado as police officers parked their patrol car on train tracks as they detained a woman that they were suspected of road raging. I want you guys to watch this again if you have the stomach for it. But notice a couple things here, which I'll point out as this video runs. There was multiple horns coming because trains, when they blow their horn, it means we're coming. This can kill you. It's a freight train, by the way. It wasn't like some light rail metro. Also, there's a number of horns. There are different body cam images as we saw them jump through. They didn't register those horns while they were talking. The officer that makes the decision to run at the end when he saw the train coming, remember that, and his was also the body cam of the second image. So he saw it coming. He was like on like a, like he's about to jump into double dutch and just knowing he should help or run, and he chose to run. Watch this again.
When I was behind her, she was driving slow enough.
Yeah.
So she could have tossed something, but I literally
Tossed it out the window?
She could have out that window, but who is that? Hart?
No, that's Tom check. Oh. Oh my god! Oh my god!
Move your car! Stay back!
It makes me jump every time I see it. Let's get some details of what they were doing with this woman. There's much more to this, you guys, because there's different angles, and we're going to determine how this whole thing happened. So hang on for that. First off, these details. The officers there were responding to a report of a road rage confrontation that involved a gun in Fort Lupton. The police officer stopped this woman. Her name, let me just give you her full name. Her name was Yareni Rios-Gonzalez. So they stopped her truck near a set of railroad tracks and parked the patrol vehicle on top of the tracks. And according to the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, the traffic stop that the officers conducted was considered a high risk because they detained her on suspicion of felony menacing. So they put her in the back of a patrol cruiser on the scene. So there was reports that she had brandished a gun during a road rage incident with someone else. They caught up with her, so they came out straight up looking for a potential confrontation. And they leave one officer leaves his car on the train tracks. Let's watch again, because this other angle, because this immediate reaction from the cop who left his car on the train tracks where the woman was handcuffed and put in the back of the car, barreling down on her. Let's watch his reaction of what happened. Let's watch him.
Who is that? Hart? Who is
no,
that?
That's Tom check. Oh.
Was she in there? Was she in there? Was she in there?
Oh my god, yes she was!
Was she in there? Was she in there?
She was in there!
Oh, oh. Dispatch Platinum 912, start medical, please. My car's just been hit by the train.
Copy.
Mother.
Oh my god.
Let's go there.
There's so much more to this, Jessica. By the way, was she in there? It was his patrol car that was on the train tracks. From the reading I got from watching that entire video, it was his car on the train tracks. Was she in there? Oh my God! Did you hear that noise when he called back and asked for medical? My car was just hit by a train. No report of a human inside of that car, just the car being hit by the train. So another piece of this, you guys, as they approached this woman, Rios-Gonzalez, on suspicion of all of this going on. No, not yet. Let's go to more video, you guys. As they approached her, I want you guys to see the energy in which they approached her. I get it, mostly because they thought there was some kind of gun involved, because that's what the report was. But also look at her reaction as they're putting her in the car, and we'll see something else as far as how this whole thing went down. Watch this.
I'm right behind you, Vasquez. I'm going to your passenger side. Vasquez. Hey.
Lift your hands up. Lift your hands up. Okay? Turn around. Turn around. Turn around. Put your hands up higher.
Keep your hands above your head.
Don't move.
What's going on? Why am I doing this? We'll explain everything in a second.
Can I get
Who
my
else is in
cell
the
phone,
truck?
please? No one else is in the truck, sir. Can I please get my cell phone?
We'll get it for you.
Don't worry
Stand
about
up.
yourself.
Please. Where are you taking me?
We're taking you to the car. Come on.
Why? What?
Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, stick me, hurt me?
No, ma'am, but can I please get my cell phone?
We'll get your cell phone in a second. Is there any weapons in the car?
Ready?
No, ma'am, there's nothing on
There's
there.
no weapons in the car? Okay.
Everybody out in the car, come on.
What's going on? Ma'am, what's going on?
I'll tell you in a second. Take a seat.
I'm so confused. Can I get
Take a
my
seat.
cell phone?
I will get your cell phone for you. Take a seat.
Okay, your turn, Jessica. I just want to point out one small thing left. We've got one cop that parked his car on the train tracks. We got another cop, as we saw there. So the guy who said, was she in there? We see that the female officer is the one who put her in the back of that car, which was not her car. And then we have the third officer who was standing there as the train approached, didn't know what to do as far as saving this woman's life. By the way, she did survive. We'll get to those injuries. But there's a lot here. So I understand. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we've all heard the train or the trolley thought experiment, right? There is a trolley on the tracks, and you can divert the train and hit like one person, or you can keep going on straight and hit four people. What do you do? And it's this like utilitarian thought experiment. In this situation, the decision was, do we park the cop car on the train tracks or not? Do we put the person who is handcuffed, who can't get out or move, in the back of the car on the train tracks or not? Like, the option was literally anything else. So this is our taxpayer dollars at work. And just, again, members of the police demonstrating that they don't have a regard for human life, for the lives of the citizens. And she said she didn't have a gun. Why was she pulled over? She was pulled over because they say she brandished a gun. So now she's been hit by a freight train because she was pulled over because of a suspicion of committing a crime. Insane.
It's a suspicion of it. Then with that level of, by the way, as they were searching the car, when they were talking as things happened, they were looking for that gun, and they were assuming, well, maybe did she toss it out? It took her a very long time to pull over. All this is what they were discussing because they were looking for that gun. They needed that proof of what had happened, which they didn't find one in the car. So I think their assumption was that she tossed it. Now, again, as I watch this, I'm thinking, imagine you're that woman in that car, 20 years old, and you're in the back of that car, and here comes a train. This is what she was feeling. According to her attorney, Paul Wilkinson, Rios-Gonzalez was unconscious by the time she arrived at the hospital. She suffered numerous injuries, including a broken arm that required surgery, 9 broken ribs, a fractured sternum, and a wound to her back and her head. Here's more of what the attorney said. She saw it coming and could hear the horn. Apparently, she's the only one. She was trying to get the police officers' attention, screaming at them. She tried unlocking the door. She had her hands behind her back and was frantically trying to unlock the door. Now, the Denver Post reported that the Platteville Police Department had placed one of the officers involved on paid administrative leave, and in a statement to the newspaper, the police chief, Carl Dwyer, did not reveal the officer's name and refused to answer other questions regarding the traffic stop and crash. By the way, anybody that watches the footage that they finally released, they've said each other's names, so we can get the officer's name. Anyways, so lastly, Krista Henry with the Weld County District Attorney's Office told CNN on Saturday that everything is still being investigated and no charges have been filed for the suspect, victim, or any of those officers. So right now, nothing has happened. They're still looking into it and everything. But that was the one thing I was wondering and questioning. I was like, this is one of those things that some people's probably biggest fears, the way people have a worry maybe about drowning one day or something. You can't control what's happening to you. There's a train barreling down the tracks and you're sitting on the tracks with your hands behind your back because other folks put you in the back of a car and placed you in that position. And all you can do is hope those same people save your life.
Yeah, this is like some Bugs Bunny type stuff. Like when you're trapped roped to the train tracks. It's that bad. The fact that all of this, there's always body cam footage when the public is talking about things that the police do. Oftentimes we're watching some video that we've seen on the internet. If the public can watch the video and have outrage about it, and still the people who are in charge of those officers haven't done anything, put them on unpaid leave while they investigate. I mean, it's on video. You can see what happened. Why are charges not filed already? It's insane. It's really just going to show that the police are under a different set of rules than we are. The system of justice that we have pretty much cushions officers from ever having accountability for their actions. And oftentimes, it's people like Yareni Rios-Gonzalez, people who are just everyday working people that are suffering because of the police serving to protect, you know, a very select group of people who have resources and who have power in society. And it's really sad. Like this week, we found out that police officers in Philadelphia, when reporting crimes in working class communities, don't always bother to get the address and will just mark down Disneyland. So there's all of this hysteria. Like, we need the police because they're protecting us against criminals. They're not even investigating crimes in working class neighborhoods or recording the address where the crime happened. It's like, come on, it's so glaringly obvious. And now we have someone strapped into the back of a car getting hit by a train. It's really glaringly obvious. I don't know what more we're going to need before we get real change.
Yeah, and by the way, you're supposed to avoid these things. Yeah, she's probably gonna have some lawsuit and win it and have whatever kinds of monetary damages. What about her life? What about her back, her neck, her head? Whatever is this injured that's gonna be an issue for her from now on. She's 20 years old. And my last thought here is, honestly, I think they're gonna get some significant punishments here after they go through this. And what's weird about that is that they did make that mistake. It was negligence and stupidity. They're going to get significant punishment for if they purposely tried to kill her, which many cops do. That's when they get off. Isn't that crazy? That's just my prediction.